Focus Studios in Oklahoma City. You're watching the Press Row. Press Row is brought to you by Cox High-Speed Internet. I'm Jenni Carlson here with Barry Tramel. It's time for our We Pick 'em segment where we pick the best games of the week in college football. Let's start out with an in-state rivalry, Michigan and Michigan State. Barry, who you got?
I've got State. Now, I picked against Michigan last week. I'm doing it again. Really nothing against the Wolverines on this game. I just think this is a pretty even rivalry. Michigan State gets fired up for this game, especially in East Lansing. Mark D'Antonio's doing a nice job with that program. I think the Spartans win it.
I don't know why I keep picking Michigan State. They always tend to mess up my picks, but I've picked them again this week to beat Michigan. I just like the way the Spartans are playing, especially at home. I like Denard Robinson, the Michigan quarterback, Barry, but I'm not super sold on him that he can carry them to victory in games like this. I think Michigan State wins in East Lansing. All right, let's go to the SEC where Florida goes to Auburn. Barry, who you got?
I got Auburn. I mean, I think Florida's a little bit of a floundering team without John Brantley at quarterback. They've got routed at LSU. This is an Auburn team that got beat at Fayetteville, but played better than we expected. I think Auburn gets this one at home.
I also think Auburn wins. I was not picking for them early in the year, and they kept proving me wrong. I've decided, Auburn, I'm with you. As long as it's a close game, I'm going with the Tigers. I don't know why they've won some of the games they have, Barry, but I think they're the better team in this game against Florida. I'm going with the Tigers. All right, all Big 12 from here on out. Baylor goes to Texas A&M. Who you got, Barry?
I'm going to go with Baylor. I think the Bears are going to be fired up.
Wow.
This has become a little bit of a bitter game with Baylor trying to stop A&M. Threat of lawsuit from going to the SEC. A&M countering by talking about how many tickets Baylor didn't sell for this game. So some bad blood here. I'm going to go with the team with a better quarterback. Tannehill at A&M's a solid quarterback, but Robert Griffin III, fantastic. He's near the top of the Heisman poll. I think Baylor is playing for a cause. I think they get an upset on their last trip to College Station.
I'm not ready to go with Baylor on this one just yet. I do like Baylor a lot better now than ever before, but I still think their defense leaves a lot to be desired. We saw that when they went to Kansas State, lost that game in Manhattan. I think they have better talent than Kansas State, but their defense just not to that level. And we saw RG3 throw that very important interception late in the game. A&M up and down all over the place this season, but I think back at home, they beat Baylor on Saturday. All right, the two in-state games remain. Oklahoma goes to Kansas to play the Jayhawks. Barry, who you got? Do I even need to ask?
Well, this one has me really torn. I had no idea which way to go with OU Kansas. I didn't know whether to go with 64-3, the 1986 score, or 71-10, the 1987 score. I'm going to go with the 87 score. I think the Sooners beat them 71-10. I think Bob Stoops' goal is to score one more point on Kansas than OSU scored on Kansas. So it's a good thing the Cowboys didn't go for 98 because the Sooners might hit 100. But no, this is a ridiculous matchup. No chance for Kansas to compete. It's going to be a sad day for Jenni Jayhawk.
The only thing that makes me sad is this game doesn't kick off till 8:15. Of course, it's going to be basically decided by about 8:30, 8:35. Oklahoma, much better team. I saw Kansas last week, Barry. I'm lobbying for hazard pay. 2 weeks in a row I have to watch this Kansas team? Give me a break.
You're speaking bad about your alma mater.
I am, because they're terrible. All right, the game of the week, probably in the country, but it's right here involving one state team. OSU goes to Texas. Barry, who you got?
Well, I think the Cowboys win easily. I mean, I've racked my brain trying to figure out a way that Texas can slow down Oklahoma State. I don't think they can. I don't think Texas can cover the Cowboys. Now, I think Texas can slow that Cowboy running game down. Kept OU from running. OSU runs it better than the Sooners, but Joey Randall may not run wild, but I don't see any way that Justin Blackman and Hubert Anian and Josh Cooper and those guys get covered. I think Brandon Whedon's going to have his pick of receivers. I think he's going to have a huge day. I think the Cowboys win.
You made a great point in your Monday column. You know, you had just seen Texas beat Oklahoma, or Oklahoma beat Texas. You know what Oklahoma State's doing, how they're better this year. And it was a rout last year. It was not even a contest in Austin. And you made a great point. How could it possibly be closer? I don't think it can be, which again, it's shocking that we're at this point where we think, man, how can OSU not beat them by 2 or 3 touchdowns? I think that's what they're going to do on Saturday. It continues the seismic shift we're seeing in the Big 12. Hey, be sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoman.